running, and it was a big success, all of you know. I think it was in 1975. Is that right?
And I have an eager audience to understand what cinema is, because I still haven't understood everything. I think cinema is something you learn about every day. Technology changes. When I was fascinated by 70mm, at that time the original 70mm negative was used. By the time I made Sholay, so how did Sholay start? Sholay started as a 2-line idea, probably a 4-line idea, about the story of an armed army gentleman and these two boys had worked in the army, mischievous guys, and he remembered them from there. We changed it to police officers so that the permissions would have been difficult with the army all along. I mean, and each time for any shooting we would have to consult the army, take their permission and then start shooting. So it would have been a complicated way of filming. That's the reason we made the change to... but it's a film that Salim Javed put on paper very nicely with the scenes. I know once we okayed the outline for the whole script, Javed Saab came to the office, he had a scene. I had only told him one thing. The character of Gabbar, so I imagine a very impulsive and very heady kind of character who would smile and lamb blast the next moment. That kind of character. He picked up on it and he wrote the scene. He came and narrated the first scene to me, and immediately I knew he had caught on. What I wanted was there. Toronto Film Festival recently, a couple of months ago, and the audience in Toronto reacted exactly the same way they did 50 years ago in Bombay. Now, how do you beat that? It's not possible. It's better to keep trying to do something else. And I have tried, and the result is there for everyone, but it can't be Sholay. I think each of the films that I made, I put my heart, soul into it, and the results are there, but it's not possible. The people's expectations are such. All my films have been appreciated, and I'm very happy with the way audiences have reacted to my film. This stands out, Sholay stands out, and it's my film, so how can I be unhappy? I'm very happy that people react to this. So, Sanjeev Kumar's role, कहानी तो उनकी है. Maybe I should do Gabbar's role. I got Dharamji, आप विलन बनेंगे? नहीं, सही बात है. Then he said, but let me do Sanjeev Kumar's role. I said, okay, if you feel that's what you want to do, I think you should do Viru's role, but if you want to do Sanjeev's role, fine. You won't get Hema Malini. Hema Malini will go to Viru. So make up your mind. No, I'll Viru, fine. He was very light-hearted about it, but there was a genuine feeling with all of them. One role, the other role, they were all well conceived, well brought out, well written, the lines and no lines between Amitabh Bachchan and Jaya Bhaduri. There were no lines. There was silence, there was the lamp, and there was music, which Pancham R.D. Burman, Bengal's R.D. Burman, played beautifully. He created that mouth organ piece, and it was a masterpiece. So each character had its own place. The very first scene we started with was the massacre of Thakur's family. That was the first sequence we started with. The bodies are laid out. And then, when we started shooting, as I said, that sequence, I had to take a call that we shot for 2 days. And after 2 days, it was bright sunlight. After 2 days, the clouds came on. And we couldn't shoot because the adjustment of lights in those days was not what you could do whenever you wanted to do it. And so, there I was waiting for, on the 4th day I said to my cameraman, Mr. Dwarka Devecha, because my mind started working, why not each evening at dusk? Today's technology, in the post-production, you can do a lot of things. You don't have to shoot like that. But in those days, by lunchtime, 1 o'clock, we stopped shooting. Everyone broke for lunch, 2 o'clock back, and lighting up for the evening shot. I think Asrani, who played the jailer, Angrezon ke zamane ka jailer, what a fabulous job he did. He's no more with us. One misses him. He's up there looking at us. I'm sure he's watching this lecture as well. He did a great job. He had done a very small bit role in Sita or Gita at the beginning of the film, where the 2 girls are delivered. He takes one away, either frivolous or overly arty. I think people know, and people who are watching know even more. They understand the attempt here is to make a really nice film, and it appeals to them accordingly. So please, as students, please do your best. Do not think that the time for cinema is over. It's not. There will be more cinema to come, and I'm sure it will find its place again. As you've seen, all the PVR cinemas all over have come up. They are showing. They're smaller theatres, but with all the best of screens and sound, and so they're bringing to you a cinema that you love. And I'm sure tastes cannot be the same from person to person. It cannot. Women like more emotional stuff, men more of action and drama. I just think that together as an audience, men, women, youngsters, elders, they all like a nice combination. I don't know. That's what I feel, and I'm speaking to you as Ramesh Sippy, to an audience here in Kolkata, sorry. So, please take this with you as a very positive feeling. Don't think that cinema is dead. It's very much alive. And then when that hit comes along, you wonder, where did the audience come from? They do come. They always come back. When there is a good film, they'll always be back. I have to thank all my actors, technicians, music director Arni Barman and Anand Bakshi, Salim Javed for their writing, and of course, I think I have to thank the audiences for loving cinema for what it is. From my very first film, I tried to be different, and I think each time I tried, the level of success may vary, but it's there.
You to ask any question or queries when the master is here. Okay. I think you should
Let me join the master.
Yeah. Please carry on. Yeah. Volunteers. You.
I did not mention it, I should have. As I said, Butch Cassidy and the Sun, and films like this, because any film about dacoits or by and the law and opposite the law, all these will be similar. But yes, Magnificent Seven is definitely one of them, and it was inspired by Seven Samurai.
The Seven Samurai by
Yes.
Akira Kurosawa.
Yes, Akira Kurosawa definitely gets the attention and the salutes that he deserves. He made a wonderful film there, and that inspired Magnificent Seven. There is also one of the films that I had seen. I saw Akira Kurosawa's film later, but at the time I was making it, I had seen Magnificent Seven.
Thank you, sir.
When I said technicians, I meant all of them. I said all of them, but I did not. If I did not mention the name, my apologies. Mr. Shinde, the editor, was equally responsible. I think filmmaking is teamwork, cannot be anything but teamwork. When everybody puts their best efforts together, you get a fun. There was a gentleman who worked for us, uneducated, Aziz Bhai. He looked after the settings. His contribution cannot be denied. He would understand. But he understood much more than you thought he understood. One day I told him, Aziz Bhai, I don't know if this is possible. Can you give me, you either look for a place like that or you do something, and I don't have to think that was very successful also. But I think we all know that Sholay, ultimately, there is no successful film like Sholay, is there? Do you have any doubts? Is it or is it not the most successful film? That's it. That's the answer.
It's a milestone of the Indian film.
Sorry?
It's a milestone of the Indian film.
Thank you. Please.
सिप्पी साहब, मैं सदीनामा से हूँ और हुजूर आपसे दो चीज़ गुजारिश करनी। सलीम जावेद
जी.
टीम के लिए।
Salim Javed, fabulous writers. They came to me during the making of Andaz, say that they were fabulous. You think I could have made a film like Sholay without all these people putting in their best as well? Not possible.
मेरा सिर्फ ये था कि
I would like
डायलॉग को
to
आपने
add,
कैसे
take
चुना?
me. I'd like to add with Ramesh ji that filmmaking is like director is like a conductor, and it's like a huge orchestra. If in an orchestra, if one violin goes out of tune, you had it.
The final released length was 3 hours and 20 minutes, which is 200 minutes.
Okay.
It was, I think, about 10 minutes longer. And some of it was cut by the censors. The sequence at the end of the film was, and a few shots before that also. And finally, now you will ultimately see the restored version with corrections of color and everything, and as it was originally shot. very, very, very touchy for him. To plus or minus one frame, he won't like it. It's just that this is right. If he feels like that, that's the way it should be. You cannot be overtly possessive about it, because like if the censors, at that time the emergency was on, you could not argue, so you had to accept. I tried my best to argue with them not to touch the film. I made it with, oh, but there's too much violence. I said, I have not shown any blood, I have not shown anything. Yes, what I have tried to do is create an impact without visual of too much blood anywhere. That's the way it has to be. So we had to accept at that time. And today when you watch the original, you will not feel much of a difference. You will not. Because it will flow as smoothly. And for 50 years, if you got used to this, it's difficult not to like what is there already. Only this is what I wanted to make, is all I know. And it's not like it's so very different from what the original was. It's just a little extra here and a little less there. I think that's a part of the scene. It's not by itself, it conveys what exactly you say. It is what is intended to be conveyed. एक बाप के कंधे पे बेटे का जनाजा. I think it says, it speaks miles, it speaks, it's very loud in its expression. It takes it to the heights of drama in that sense, and mildly spoken. It was not shouted, it was just, he was expressing his feeling. I think every character in the film, at the right time, in the right tone, said the right thing. That's the way it feels now, 50 years later also. It's because you relate to it. Anybody and everybody can relate to it. So, I think one should not look at the political aspects of it. That is neither intended. But if it's religious, if you are trying to say something that all religions, we as a country have shown it for the last 75, 80 years. We are. And we are proud to be so. My father was in films, but my first time visit on the sets was in 1951, when I was 7 years old.
7 years old.
And it was, I walked through those big, huge wires and everything on the set. It was dangerous to do that, but that you think now. At that time, as a kid, I didn't. I just was fascinated by the whole atmosphere. And then when I watched films, I said, oh, that way what we saw, and the cameraman, Jal Mistri, Fali Mistri, in that film, Devanand was I knew this is what I wanted to do. I did not express it, and I wasn't sure, but I think that's where it began. My love for cinema on the sets, and then I started to take more interest. Make a reference to it yesterday. I expressed to Mamtaji also that I think I would be quite happy to look at some kind of proposal which might, the making of a project with Bombay and Bengal, if we find the right kind of film, the right kind of subject, which would appeal to both audiences, and in general, as I've always felt, it should appeal to everyone. So, if it comes through, I'll be very happy and very willing to do that.
Thank you very, very much. Wonderful for your presence, really wonderful presence.